Hello everyone, I hope you're having a good day. Let's go ahead and get started. 9 parts of speech, 9 parts of speech, 9 parts of speech, yeah, 9 parts of speech. Noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, conjunction, interjection, preposition, adjective, and article adjective. Noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, conjunction, interjection, preposition, adjective, and article adjectives. Good job. Do you remember what a noun is? A noun is a person, place, thing, activity, or idea. What about a pronoun? A pronoun replaces a noun in order to avoid repetition. A pronoun replaces a noun in order to avoid repetition. There's he, she, it, you, they, them, etc. A verb is a word that asserts action, shows a state of being, links two words together, or helps another verb. How many types are there? 4. Action, linking, helping, I'm missing one. Oh, and state of being. Okay, so action is something you can act out, like she ran, she cried, she ate. Right? You can act those things out. For your younger children, maybe up to 3rd grade, this is the most important you need to understand. Okay, so Sally ran. If you can act it out, that means it's the verb. Older than that, there's state of being, like am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. Like Jamie is kind. Okay, can you act out is? No, but it's saying it's her state of being. It's describing, or well, it's not a modifier. It's saying what she is. So it's a state of being verb. Links is a helping, or sorry, not helping. Links is like am, is, are, was, were, no. Yes, am, is, are, was, were, no, those are state of being verbs, sorry. Linking verbs are also very similar to these. Like is, are, was, she, we are friends. Okay, it links we and friends. We and friends equal each other. These will have an equal sign. All right, helping verbs are we should go to the store, should go. Or even am sometimes can be I am going to the store. Okay, those can be helping verbs too. Just depends how it's used. Okay. An adverb modifies a verb, adjective, or another adverb. An adverb modifies a verb, adjective, or another adverb. By asking how, when, where, it answers how, when, where, why, how often, how much, to what extent, under what condition. Today we're going to talk about conjunctions. A conjunction is a word used to connect words, phrases, or clauses together. A conjunction is a word used to connect words, phrases, or clauses together. These are the different types of conjunctions we're going to talk about later. In fact, I'm going to link a video to this that you can watch that will help describe all of these different kinds of conjunctions. Conjunctions are really important to our sentences.
A conjunction is a word used to connect words, phrases, or clauses together. A conjunction is a word used to connect words, phrases, or clauses together. There are coordinating fanboys, correlative pairs, subordinating www.asia.1, relative pronouns like the famous who-which clause, used to begin an adjectival clause. A conjunction is a word used to connect words, phrases, or clauses together. A conjunction is a word used to connect words, phrases, or clauses together. There are coordinating fanboys, correlative pairs, subordinating www.asia.1, relative pronouns like the famous who-which clause, used to begin an adjectival clause. Conjunctions.
Interjection we'll talk about later. Preposition is a noun phrase. Okay, so you have to have a, do you remember our triangle picture we talked about last time? It's words that describe where the noun is. So the dot is in the triangle, or in the box, outside the box, around the triangle, on top of or above the triangle, below the triangle. So if any of you remember our preposition song, aboard, about, across, after, against, along, amid, among, around, at, atop, before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, but by, during, or I missed one. Anyway, those are our prepositions and they're used all the time. You have to have a prepositional phrase. So this is our preposition in, then what's our noun? Box. Object of the prepositions always have to be nouns. Let's see. An adjective modifies a noun or a pronoun by describing, modifying, or limiting. It answers what, kind, how many, which, or whose. What, kind, how many, which, or whose. An adjective modifies a noun or a pronoun by describing, modifying, or limiting. It answers what, kind, how many, which, or whose. What, kind, how many, which, or whose. And of course we have our article adjectives, which are always a, and the. Okay, so watch the little video on conjunctions, see if you can kind of learn the song and what they are. We've already talked about our fanboys, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. These are called coordinating conjunctions, which means the two halves of the sentence can each stand on their own as independent sentences. These are subordinating conjunctions, which means the clause that it's linking is dependent on the main clause. Then we'll talk about the others later. Do at least. Okay, do at least one jug in the rest jars. Okay, let's get started on our sentences. First of all, put your name at the top and let's dig in. The 12 tribes were scattered. Who or what is this sentence about? 12 tribes. Now, this, because it is one idea, 12 tribes, it's a specific group of people, I'm going to consider this whole thing our subject. If I were just describing random tribes, that not a specific one, I said there were 7 tribes, then this would be an adjective to tribes. But since this is a proper noun, I'm going to just say it's all the subject. 12 tribes. So now, what is being said about 12 tribes? 12 tribes were scattered. Okay, so can you act out scattered? Yes, you can. And were is going to be a helping verb. It's helping this verb. It can't really stand on its own. But in this case, I'm going to say verb helping, and this is a regular verb. Okay. Which 12 tribes? The article adjective. Okay, let's go ahead and diagram that. So you younger children, you're starting to learn what helping verbs are. They're a verb that helps another verb. Helps another verb. Remember that part of our song? We have 12 tribes were scattered. Where does the go? What do we have to remember about it since it's our first word in the sentence? It's capitalized. Look at that, 3 T's in a row, T, T, T. That's funny, huh? Now, is that an alliteration? Not necessarily, because this T doesn't say T, it says the. So alliteration usually has to have 3 of the sounds together. Okay. Assyria, I should have capitalized those. Go ahead and capitalize those. Now, the way you mark that is like this. If something needs to be capitalized, that's what you mark under it. Okay. Who or what is this sentence about? Assyria, subject noun. What is being said about Assyria? Assyria captured, verb. Assyria captured who or what? 10 tribes. Okay, again, these are kind of the same. It's the same idea. Does 10 tribes replace Assyria? No. Does 10 tribes describe Assyria? No, no. D-O, label, verb, transitive. Is 10 tribes receiving the action of being captured? Yes. That's right. So that means this is a transitive verb. It's transferring the action to 10 tribes. Let's go ahead and... I should have said the 10 tribes. Syria captured 10 tribes. I'm actually going to add that. The. What would the be? Article adjective. What is it describing? 10 tribes. So we're going to put it under there. Very good. Okay, the Lord saved Jerusalem in the old days. Do we see any prepositional phrases? In is a preposition. Okay, does it have an object? In what? Days. Okay, so this is going to be our preposition. This is going to be our object of the preposition. What's old? It's an adjective. What kind of days? Old. The is article adjective. Which days? Okay, the Lord saved Jerusalem. Who or what is the sentence about? Lord, subject, noun. What is being said about the Lord? Lord saved, verb. Lord saved who or what? Jerusalem. Does Jerusalem replace Lord? Nope. Does it describe Lord? No, no. Could you fill that in? No, no. D-O, label, verb, transitive. Okay, because Jerusalem is receiving the action of being saved by the Lord. The, article adjective. Lord saved. What's going to go here? Jerusalem. Going to go here. Capital T. That's the beginning of our sentence. All right, now, what is in the old days describing? Is it describing Jerusalem? Or is it describing when he saved? Or is it describing Lord? It's describing when he saved and answers the question how, when, where, how much, how often, right? So this is an adverbial prepositional phrase. In, what's the object of the preposition? Days. Are days a noun? Yep. So, the old. There you go. Very good. Okay, let's look at this beast. God always gives his people warnings and will graciously save the righteous from destruction and will not save the wicked from their enemies. Now, if I were writing a paper, I would not write a sentence this wordy. You'd put in periods and make it flow a little better. But for these, I wanted to really focus on conjunctions this time. So we have a couple of them here. Let's go ahead and and I wanted to do an indirect object. We haven't done those for a little while. Okay. First of all, let's find any conjunctions. Find any ands? Yep. And. Okay, do we see any prepositional phrases? Aboard, about, across, after, against, along, amid, among, around, at, atop. From is one. Okay. From what? Destruction. Oh, there's another from. From who or what? Enemies. Well, actually, on here I should have filled this out after we did the core sentence, but okay, so now we've kind of parsed those out. So let's go ahead and look at this. God always gives his people warnings and will graciously save the righteous and will not save the wicked. So what is our subject here? Are these three phrases or clauses? Remember, a clause has to have a subject and a verb. So God always gives his people warnings. Does this say, and he will graciously save? Can this stand on its own from here to here? Will graciously save the righteous? No. Will not save the wicked? No. Those can't stand on their own. They don't have a subject. If I said, he will graciously save the wicked, and he will not save, he will graciously save the righteous, and he will not save the wicked, then those would be independent clauses. They could stand on their own. But they do not have a subject pronoun. So they are just phrases, which makes our verb special. God always gives his people warnings. So who or what is this sentence about? God, subject, noun. What is being said about God? God, what? Gives and will save. Okay, so we have verb, helping verb, and will save. Oops, sorry. Verb, helping, and this is just a regular verb. Wait, Sister Allred, what about this not? This says will not save, not will save. Aha, what is not here? Does anybody know? Well, let's look at which part of speech is not going to be. Give you a hint, it's a modifier. It's either an adverb or an adjective. Is not modifying a noun or pronoun? It's saying to what extent he will save, right? So which question? Where, why, how often, how much, to what extent? So it could be maybe how often, or to what extent will he save? He will not save them. So this is an adverb. Adverbs, when we have, I did not like the cookies. Did not like, not is usually stuck between a verb and a helping verb because it's saying to what extent you liked them or to what extent they were saved. Okay. Okay. So this one is kind of a beast. So we have a compound verb, triple compound verb. So God, let's go back to here. God gives who or what? Warnings. Does warnings describe God? No. Does warnings replace God? Is warnings receiving the action of the verb? Yes, it's receiving the action of being given. So no, D-O, label verb, transitive. Okay. God gives warnings to or for whom? People. Indirect object. They are receiving the direct object that's receiving the action of gives. An indirect object has to be between the verb and the direct object. And it, you ask the question, gives warnings to or for whom? So I could say, Allie gives Jamie cookies. Allie gives cookies to or for whom? Jamie. And if Jamie is between the verb and direct object, then it's an indirect object. It's the object that's indirectly receiving it too. Okay, whose people? His. Adjective. Okay, let's look at always. What does it answer? How, when, where, why, how often? What is that, an adverb or adjective? What is it describing? Gives, and that's our verb. So this is dead giveaway. That's an adverb. Good. Okay. He will save who or what? The righteous. Now you can say, but wait, righteous could be an adjective. You're right. It could be. But in this case, it's referring to a group of people. So it's actually acting as a noun. What? Says are all red. Grammar is not straightforward. You're right. Grammar is very important for teaching you how to think. So God will save who or what? Righteous. Does righteous replace God? Nope. Does it describe God? No, no. D-O, label verb transitive. Is it receiving the action of being saved? Yes. That's easy. Article adjective. Okay, will save. Ooh, graciously. What's that? What is it modifying? The verb or noun? Is this modifying God? Or is it modifying? Say, will save. Saying how he will save, right? Graciously. That's an adverb question, and it's modifying a verb. Okay, from is our preposition. From what? Destruction. Opposite of the preposition. Oh, and these are our conjunctions. We've got to write those. Okay, let's look at our next phrase. God will save who or what? Well, will not save, but for the core, it's God will save who or what? Wicked. Does wicked replace God? No. Does it describe God? No, no. D-O, label verb transitive. The is article adjective. Okay, from, preposition. Enemies, object of the preposition. There. Whose enemies? Their, adjective. Remember, it's asking the question. What kind, how many, which, or whose. Those are our adjective questions, and it's modifying a noun. Whew, you guys, that was a big one. Now to diagram. Okay, let's see if I can do this the first time without missing something. In fact, I'm going to use a pencil for this. Okay, so we have our subject, God. Now we're going to have 3 verbs here, so we have to have a triple rocket. Gives. Okay, what's our subject? God, and it's capitalized because it's name and it's the beginning of a sentence. God, what's our first verb? Gives. Gives who or what? Warnings. This is going to go straight up because it's not a predicate nominative or an adjective. It's not described. God gives. Now the what's it called? Indirect object. Let me just double check again how to diagram this. I do it differently than is I used to do it differently. Oh, why is my pen not working? There we go. Because I used to put the indirect object between gives and warnings, but I think it goes under verb. Okay. Yep. It goes like this. Gives God gives people warnings. It's kind of like a prepositional phrase, but it's not exactly. Whose people? His. Okay, well, I'm going to run out of space here. I should have made more space. Okay, do we get them all? God. Oh, always. We're going to have to, oops, we're going to have to put that here. Oh, that's funny. God always gives his people warnings. And, oh, I should have given myself more space. Okay, I'm going to erase part of this so we can have more space because this is A lot going on here. And, okay, God will save the righteous. Okay, save how graciously. The righteous. We're going to make this even longer. Sometimes you have to modify things as you go. That's why you always use a pencil. Righteous, we're going to put from destruction. From destruction. Good. Okay, now what's our last verb? God will save, or will not save, but that's an adverb. God will save wicked. You know, these direct objects. So will not save the wicked from pencils. And there it goes here. Whew, you guys. So this sentence is actually not that complicated in terms of it's just indirect object and direct object, subject, direct object, subject, direct object, you know, verb, direct object. It just is that it happened. We have 3 of them. So that's what makes it a little bit confusing. And then, of course, we have prepositional phrases in there and adverbs. So there's just a lot of parts to it, but the core of it is not super complicated. If you are still with me, way to go. I'm so proud of you. Hopefully you learned something today. Hopefully you older children remember indirect objects pretty well. I'm hoping to do more of those in the future. So keep up the good work. And yes, happy learning. Bye.